Welcome to CourLife's Livin podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Amy Thayer, and I'm incredibly happy to be here with you today. And I'm even more grateful that you're here too. This is a space I created for high-achieving women like you to pause. Not just to take a breath, but to finally exhale the one that you didn't even realize that you were holding, and to step into what just might be the most intentional chapter of your life. Each episode on Livin' Right will explore what it really means to redefine success, reclaim your well-being, and rise into a life that feels authentic, purposeful, and sustainable. One that actually fits the woman you are now, not the version of you who is chasing the dream that you thought you wanted, or maybe the dream you did want and now have. And that once satisfying achievement has now left you feeling dissatisfied and asking, what's next? Here we won't just talk about achieving greater health and well-being or change. We'll actually honor the humanity behind it. We'll talk about authenticity, courage, and compassion. About generosity, gratitude, humility, and heart. About what it looks like to stop pushing through everything and start living with intention, connection, and self-trust. If you've been running on overdrive, showing up for everyone else, holding all the things together, or quietly wondering why your body, your energy, your sense of purpose feels a little out of sync, you're exactly where you're meant to be. Because here we don't shrink. We shift and soar, we reset and renew, and we rise and thrive together. But before we go any further, I want to briefly introduce myself, not just with titles and credentials, but with honesty. First and foremost, I'm a researcher. I've always had an insatiable curiosity. I love to learn and stretch and grow. And I formally put that characteristic to work when I earned my PhD in human nutrition, foods, and exercise from Virginia Tech. My work in health and well-being has long focused on a deceptively simple question. How do people actually change? Sustainably, compassionately, and in real life? Not in perfectly controlled clinical trials and not in theory, but in the messy, demanding, beautiful reality of being human. Over the years, my research and professional work across health science, which includes behavioral change, movement, nourishment, also in education and recreation and leisure, diversity, equity, inclusion, philanthropy, and social movements, all of this work kept pointing me toward the same truth. The healthiest, most satisfied lives aren't built through extremes or perfection. They're shaped by daily practices rooted in purpose, connection, and movement that feels natural, nourishment that honors the body, rhythms of rest, and a deep sense of belonging. Core Life is where all of that research has finally come home. It's emerging very clearly as my life's work. In fact, it was that very realization that led me to become a certified integrative nutrition health coach. I'm trained to work across physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual dimensions of well-being. Because we're multidimensional and bio-individual beings. But Core Life wasn't born out of textbooks alone. It was born out of lived experience. My own midlife journey brought challenges I never expected. Physical changes, chronic joint pain that completely disrupted my relationship with movement. During a serious family medical crisis, a major interstate move, which I do not recommend for stress reduction. And a deep personal change. I was no longer 25 or even 35. I was nearing 50 and it was very clear that things were going to be different. And they are. But somewhere in the middle of all of that, I realized I was functioning somewhat on autopilot, which is very foreign to me. I was showing up. I was handling things. I was getting things done. But I wasn't truly living. I wasn't thriving. I was existing. And it really wasn't serving me. So I slowed down. Not perfectly, not gracefully, and definitely not all at once. But honestly. And then with humility, I began listening to my body, my nervous system, and that quiet inner wisdom I'd been overriding for years in the name of being productive. What emerged wasn't a quick fix or even a nicely packaged plan. It was an integrative way of living that supported vitality, meaning, connection, and purpose in a way that could actually last. Sincerely, I want you to know this. I'm still learning. I'm still evolving, still practicing what I share here. I don't come to you as someone who has it all figured out. I come to you as a person who is deeply committed to being brave, living fully with intention and courage. And I'm committed to walking alongside you and other women as you do the same. On this podcast, Livin' Right, we'll talk honestly about midlife as it really is for driven, capable, compassionate women, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. We'll share stories of courage and generosity, gratitude, empathy, and deep human connection. Because those stories are the foundation to our health and well-being, and because they remind us that we are never alone in our becoming and growing. We'll explore healthy habits, that's eating, physical activity, and hacks that will leave your body and mind feeling better. We'll look at what it means to reset your relationship with your body, how to navigate burnout and chronic stress without shame or regret, the difference between performing well-being and actually feeling well, how to create meaning, confidence, and clarity in this chapter of your life, and how community is rooted in compassion, humility, and shared humanity can change everything. I'll bring the research and the science. I'll also host experts, storytellers, and women who have risen through the resilience, gratitude, connection, and love. This podcast is a space for science and story, for evidence and empathy, for ambition softened by humility, for success redefined through well-being, connection, and purpose. And if I'm being honest, from time to time, you'll also hear about my dogs, the boys, Ellington, Huxley, and Winslow. They're wise, joyful, grounding companions who remind me daily about presence in movement, routine, unconditional love, and the importance of getting outside, even when I think I'm too busy. Honestly, they may be the most consistent well-being practitioners in my household, and I'd be lost without them. So all of these things are the heart of Core Life, and that is what Livin Right is about. I'm honored you're here. Subscribe, share this with a friend, and settle in. I can't wait to have these conversations with you. Until then, be brave, honor your heart, live fully.